So hey all, what's up? We're going to be doing something which is a little different from what we usually do on this channel, which is going to be to do a recreation look from the song Paani Paani. So let's start off. So we're going to start with a lot of hydration. I just want to make sure that my face is very well hydrated before I go on with a lot of layers of makeup today. So I'm just going to take a little bit of it and tap it all over my skin, which is just going to, it's just going to basically keep my skin well nourished and moisturized and hydrated for the rest of the day. So for my moisturizer plus a primer, I'm going to use the Plume Silk Blur one, and I'm just going to like press it all over my skin. And once that's like a little settled, we're going to move on with a little bit of color correction. So I'm going to use the MAC corrector, and you can use any orange corrector for doing this. So I'm just basically just spot applying it on the places wherever I need a little bit of like a little bit of extra correction going on. So once that's done, I'm just going to take a small blender brush, like a concealer brush, and I'm just going to pat the product inwards and then slightly buff out the edges. So this is just going to like move the product a little bit, and it would not really like take off the coverage from the places that you want it. So that way, like the concealing also works good, and you can also avoid any cakiness with your makeup. So next up, I'm just going to use a little bit of the MAC Strobe cream, and this one is basically like a sample size, and I just did not have the heart to buy the entire tube of it because it's just so damn pricey. So let me know if anyone else uses it, and just tell me whether it's actually worth the money in probably like some other shade. And I'm just basically like applying it on all the high points of my face, and then I'm just dabbing and pressing it into my skin. You know that on my channel we do not mostly blend, we just press and dab. So next up, we're going to use the Swiss Beauty Drop and Glow highlighter. This is beautiful. This is like really good. So we're just going to take that again on all the high points of the face. So we're not going to cover like a much more wider area compared to the strobe cream. We're just going to keep it very minimal. So moving on to the foundation, we're going to use the PAC HD foundation, and as usual, I'm just going to take my finger and just dab it all over my skin. So I'm just going to work on how much coverage I want based on that. And once that is done, I'm just going to use a brush and I'm going to press it all inwards. So I'm just slightly stippling and slightly buffing here and there, just to make sure that I don't lose on coverage, but also to make sure it looks like really blended. And this foundation looks really like, it just looks really skin-like. So I'm going to use the Etude House eyebrow pencil, and I'm just going to like comb through it, and then I'm just going to like slightly fill through it. So when you see the pictures, Jacqueline has a really bold brow, and it's not really carved out, but it's really full. So I'm just trying to go with the same effect. So once that's done, I'm just going to clean the bottom of it with a little bit of concealer for extra definition. To set my eyebrows, I'm just going to use a little bit of the Wet n Wild clear brow gel, and it was clear when I first started using it, but then now with just like continuous using of it, it just started to get a little tinted with brown. So I'm just setting it in, and for my lids, I'm going to use the P.louise eyeshadow base, and I use this lip in every single video of mine. So I'm just going to like do a very thin coat, and then I'm going to use the sugar kajal, and I'm going to go really close to my lash line and then smudge it out. So if you want a detailed video on how I smudge my kajal, I'm going to leave it right up here, and you can check that out. We're going to move on to an eyeshadow palette from Tann Beauty, and we're going to start to apply a little bit of brown and just start to press it upon the lid. So when you see Jacqueline's eyes, there's not too much kohl like all over the lid, rather it's basically brown all over the lids. That's basically what we're doing right now, and we're just going to buff it out with a transition shade. So this is like super easy. It's just a very normal, simple, classic smoky eye, which is done with a lot of intensity only around the eyes. So I'm going to do the same in my lower waterline and use a little bit of kajal and again smoke it out. Then again layer it with a little bit of a very like a medium brown, and then with a much more lighter shade of brown, and blend it out. Okay, it's concealer time. We're going to use the Sugar waterproof concealer, and that's basically just because I wanted a little extra coverage, and her face is like really well highlighted in the center. So I'm going to go with something lighter around my eyes, and I just forgot to do my kajal on the other eye, so I'm just doing it now. And once that's done, we're going to start with contouring, and her contours are like extremely strong, and she also has a really chiseled face, which I sadly do not have. So we're going to fake it until we look like it. So I'm just going to like go a little heavy handed on the contouring, and this is like a little extra for me, but I just wanted to make it look more defined. So I'm using the Kiko Milano one, and I'm just kind of buffing it, and I'm pulling it a lot more lower, and then I'm cleaning under it with my foundation brush just to make it look a lot more sharper. So I'm just going to do my contour like really close to each other, and I'm going to highlight the bridge of my nose with a little bit of concealer, and I'm just going to tap it in with my finger. So just a cute smiley face here, and I don't know that I'm really cute. So we're just going to move on to a little bit of highlighter, and this one is really good. It's like really popping and shining. So we're just going to tap that on the high points of our face, just as the places where we strobed, and then I'm going to use a little bit of blush from MAC Gingerly. So when you see Jacqueline's pictures, it isn't like too pink, it's basically more neutral. So we did the same thing, and I'm just going to go for like a lot of coats of mascara, and then I'm going to set my face using the K Beauty HD powder, and just in all the places where I tend to get a little oily. And once that is done, once that's done, we're going to move on to a little bit of false lashes. This is from Henna Beauty, and these look gorgeous. These are just really fluttery and they're not too over the top. And I'm just going to go for a very browny, neutral type of a lipstick. I think my lipstick went a little too dark compared to the actual picture. And then I'm just going to do the same, kind of like a couple of dots on my face. So that's kind of like a bindi, and then there were 3 dots in the chin, which I did with an eyeliner. So this completes the look, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do let me know which other looks that you would like me to recreate, and you can drop them down in the comment section below. I think this was really fun for me to do, and it was a little out of the box for me to do, which was really good. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch up with you guys for another one. Until next time, bye.